What was your worst show ever?
Oh man. Well, I have some honorable mentions, but
have that. These are the things we love. It's nothing is funnier to comics than watching other comics just crash and burn. So,
well, I mean, I was running a room, right? So I ran a room in a biker bar. And it was a rough. It was literally it was called Grumpy's. It was in Coon Rapids, and it was literally the extent. It was like Pee-wee's Great Adventure, where he goes into the bar and he's like, I'm trying to use the phone. Except every night we would start the comedy show and it was like, I'm trying to tell some jokes. And we had this giant 6-foot black guy named Wolf. He was the only biker, that was that big. He had a Barry White type voice. Hey, baby. And he would just heckle you, and he was so scary. And there was so many crazy things that happened. I had a drunk lady get so drunk. She started being violent at the table, and we had bouncers. And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you got to go. And she's like, let me get one more sip of my beer. And I'm like, okay. And I got the microphone in my hand. We're opening the show. She takes a swig of the beer, turns around and spits it in my face. And now I'm covered in beer. And I just started the show. I got no clothes to change into.
I like that she was that drunk that she had to go before the show started.
Yes. That's how wasted these people are. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, man. I mean, this was the worst possible place to do comedy. I mean, it was, and I ran this room for over 3 years. I mean, I had people, they'd be so drunk, they thought I was talking about them. They'd be waiting in the parking lot with a baseball bat. I mean, crazy stuff. Shootings happened, I had one comic, they didn't think he was funny, and they had the metal darts on the dartboard. So they took a metal dart, and while he was performing, they threw it at him, and it stuck him in his leg, and he was like, ow! And then they threw another one and stuck him in his other leg. He's like, ow! And then he's like, I'm done. And I never seen him again. I couldn't convince him to come to my room. So that's an honorable mention, But if you're talking about me, the funniest one was I get a call and they're like, well, we want you to come and perform at the prison. And I'm like, when? Today? I'm like, but I don't have a babysitter. They're like, bring her.
Oh, my.
My baby is like 1. She's literally, they say she's the youngest in the prison. And I start getting hecklers, but, the guards kind of move in at them. So then they get quiet. But I forget where I'm at. And I start just like going off on the prisoners. And they have different colors, like some are orange, some are striped, some are green. And I'm even saying to the one guy, gosh, you're ashy. Look at your elbows. Can someone get him some lotion? And I'm talking to this guy in a suit, like, and while you're at it, give me some water. Is this the way you treat your guests? And I'm literally talking to the warden, and I don't even realize it. And it was really funny show, though. And what happens is we get done with the show, and the prisoners were great, and it was a great show. When we get done, and the guy goes, I go, so what were the colors for? Like what they were wearing? What does that mean? And he goes, well, the section that you were roasting, they're in for attempted murder. And what was so funny is that one of the prisoners comes up to me and goes, bro, I used to come every week to your comedy show out there in Coon Rapids, Grumpies, and he was one of the orange suits in the attempted murder group. So I thought that was so funny. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you're a fan, So yeah, there was that one. But the worst one was actually at a church.
Really?
Yeah, it was up in Superior, Wisconsin. And they were giving out free corn. And it's like everybody showed up for this free corn giveaway. Like they were roasting corn, and it was in the summertime. It's an outdoor event. So it's like the adults brought their kids with, and they're like, get away from me. I'm eating free corn, and right. They don't want they want their kids to go, get up there. That's where the comedy show is going to be. And so they're standing like a field away from me. Any potential adult is like a field away. And the guy who goes to introduce Deuce Me goes, okay, guys and gals, it's time for comedy. Come on, kids. Come up to the front. I got nobody to bounce any material off of. And I got newborns crawling on my shoes while I'm trying to do a hour set. I'm headlining this. I had no openers, I had nothing. And that was brutal, man. That was probably the worst, hour I've ever had to do.